Welcome to part 2 of the Adult Learning Training module. Today we will discuss the 3 learning preferences of the Visual, Auditory, and Kinesthetic, or simply VAK, learning model. This is our goal and objectives for this part of the Adult Learning Training module. After this block of instruction, you should gain an understanding of the adult learner traits and the VAK learning preferences. Be able to identify learner traits from key indicators that students may radiate, and through reflection, be able to discuss previously observed learning traits while listing and explaining their relationship to the VAK model. I'll give you a moment to continue to look over the goal and objectives. The VAK model suggests that most people prefer to learn using one or more of the 3 learning styles presented here: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. We will break these down along with how to identify these through student observation and some techniques to integrate into the classroom that can assist the students to learn. Please select a link to watch a short video that shows the VAK model in action. Before we engage with students, we must first understand our own learning preferences. Why, you may ask? By understanding the way you learn not only gives you a better idea of where you will need to focus more, or areas that you may require further information to learn, but can also help you identify areas that you may have to improve as an instructor. Human nature is to do what is comfortable for us. This could introduce bias into the method that one delivers the instructional content to favor the way that you actually learn yourself, and at the same time not relate to all students. This VAK questionnaire is a free, web-based 20-question quiz that will assess your learning style. After gaining access to the site, select Answer the 20 questions. To find out if you are a visual, auditory, or tactile learner, which is kinesthetic, select Just Show Me the Results. We'll provide you with examples of each of the learning styles. The website also has other assessments that you can use to gain further information about study habits and other information to assist you with instructing and learning. You may select the link in the presentation or exit the presentation and use the link within the training module to access this VAK questionnaire. Once you have completed the questionnaire, please resume the presentation. Clark states that visual learners have 2 sub-channels, linguistic and spatial. Learners who are visual linguistic like to learn through written language, such as reading and writing tasks. They remember what has been written down even if they do not read it more than once. They like to write down directions and pay better attention to lectures if they watch them. Learners who are visual spatial usually have difficulty with written language and do better with charts, demonstrations, videos, and other visual materials. They easily visualize faces and places by using their imagination and seldom get lost in new surroundings. These are some of the indicators that the visual learner may possess during classroom instruction. A few ways to integrate this style into the learning environment are the use of visual aids, handouts, supplement text with pictures, similar to what we have here with the eye for the visual, and to leave some space on the handouts for students to take notes. With the auditory learner, they can often be misconstrued as not paying attention and in some looking as being disruptive. They often talk to themselves, move their lips, and read out loud. And they sometimes have difficulty with reading and writing tasks. They may also talk over material during breaks with others or even ask the instructor to repeat the information in order to gain a better understanding of that information. A few ways to integrate this style into the learning environment are: begin new material with a brief explanation of what is coming. Conclude with a summary of what has been covered. This is the old adage of tell them what they're going to learn, teach them something, and then tell them what they have learned. Use questioning to draw information from them and then tell them the remainder of that information, just to fill in the gaps. Develop activities that will allow the students to make connections of what they have learned and how it applies to their situation, such as brainstorming or buzz groups. Develop an internal dialogue between yourself and the learners. Anything that has the student vocalize information will assist them in the learning process. According to Clark, kinesthetic learners do best while touching or moving around. They tend to lose concentration if there is little or no external stimulation or movement. When listening to lectures, they may want to take notes, if nothing else, for the sake of moving their hands around. When reading, they like to scan the material first and then focus on the details, trying to get a big picture first and then narrow that focus down. They typically use color highlighters and take notes by drawing pictures, diagrams, or even doodling. This, like the auditory learner, can be misconstrued as them not paying attention to the block of instruction being taught. Some of the integrating techniques can consist of allowing the students to move, using hands-on activities, taking digital notes, and of course taking frequent breaks, giving them a chance to get up and move around. In addition, utilizing different color markers when writing on a board to emphasize key points will assist this type of learner. During this block of instruction, we have discussed the VAK learning model and how to identify learner preferences along with techniques that can stimulate learning. Brian Walsh's video explains the VAK model and how these learning preferences affect the student in the classroom. After reviewing the video, please proceed to the Part 2 discussion board for your reflective assignment.